The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Beneath the Cowl podcast, Cosplay Alliance, our partners and affiliates. This episode may contain coarse language and sensitive subject matters. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
How's it going, everyone? You want to
Hey.
Hello.
What's up?
How's it going? We have a special podcast episode tonight, talking about the new live action Avatar show on Netflix. I know we're a little bit late to it, but there's so much controversy and hot button issues.
Better late than never.
Yeah, let's get into it. So we'll go around and we'll introduce ourselves, starting off with our host, Mr. Cosplays by Shinobi.
Hey, I'm Chris, Cosplays by Shinobi. Today you can call me Aang.
Sup, Aang?
Hey, I'm Royalty Cosplay.
I'm Lexi Carey on Insta.
And Lexi Carey, you need to be on here more often.
Okay.
Do it. This is my first time. Happy to be here.
And we got Haley at the bottom there, bottom left.
Yes, I'm Haley. Hi.
Feminist Chronicles.
Yeah, Jessica or Feminist Chronicles.
Hilia.
I'm Lynx, or Hylia Lynx Cosplays.
And myself, Anthony, Mr. Cosplay Alliance. I'm ready to take this away. I'm very excited for this this conversation. Let me get the questions ready from Chris here. Chris, you want to take the first one?
Aang is stuck.
It's frozen. It's gone.
Airbending over there. All right. I'll ask the first question, and Chris will.
You love
You ask. I have the photos. Yeah.
Look, I'm in a different realm, so you know.
when the road needed him the most.
Spirit world. Okay. Question 1.
Okay.
What do you love about the Avatar Last Airbender? It's just a series, right? It's just
in general. What do you love about Avatar? Yeah, the show, the anime.
Everything.
First of all,
Okay, 'cause I was like,
I'll ask the main question. Is Avatar the animated series? Is it an anime?
Yes.
So
Anybody
controversial.
who says anything.
I know.
Wait, first we have to go with what is the definition of anime?
Oh, you getting deep links.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
Deep.
yeah. Well, for me, because I'm like, it's Japanese cartoon, but then we go into the westernization of animation. Animation is anime, but also for me, I don't consider it an anime, but that's just me. But I could see on both sides.
No, a
how
lot
it
of people
could
don't.
be.
A lot of people don't. Yeah, it's more anime. It's more anime inspired than
Right.
anime.
Yeah.
I would
Right.
say.
Kind of like a hybrid.
Yeah.
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 I would counter that, and I definitely understand why people have their certain opinions on whether it is or it's not, based on their definition of anime. But for me, I feel like earlier, maybe in like the 80s and the 90s, we would have more put anime in a box of it has to be Japanese made. But I think over the years, like Lynx was saying, different cultures are inspired by the medium, and now I feel like it overextends just Japanese animation, because look at Daft Punk's album Interstellar 555. That was made by a French animation studio, and that is definitely an anime. So I feel like now it's kind of, you can choose whether you think something's an anime. In the case of Avatar: The Last Airbender, though, I feel like it is anime inspired, but because it's an American cartoon, I feel like people they don't put it in that box. But for me, it's so inspired by anime. I think it just has more of an American flavor to it. So I personally consider it an American anime to me.
Boba, you made it on time. Yeah. It's similar to like I would say like hip hop or something like that. That's if you hear Japanese hip hop, you can't. Would you say it's not hip hop? I don't know. Right.
Right.
I mean,
Right. No, you wouldn't, because it's larger than that. It's global now.
For sure. It's just it transcends from where it is.
Right.
So what do you guys like most about Avatar in general? Like, what made you guys get, you know,
For
love the
me,
show?
Avatar, like, so Aang was on a journey, and then along his journey, he met other people on other epic journeys. So for me, I think when I started watching the animated series, I saw myself in some of the characters because they were so relatable. And some of the lessons that they were actually going through in the series, I was living out in real life. So it just made it so relatable to me. And I don't know, the writing was just incredible. So that's what got me hooked.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone
I
else?
agree that the writing is incredible. It's hard to pick like one thing that I love about it because it is definitely like one of my favorite cartoons of all time. I feel like it's so wholesome. They're, Uncle Iroh is a huge thing that I love about it. Like, I feel like
He's
sometimes
my favorite.
I rewatch like Avatar in its entirety because I'm like, I just need advice from Uncle Iroh.
Right?
Also, just like it's a lot of fun. Like they're kids and they're still trying to be kids with all like the chaos that's going on around them.
Yeah, exactly. I have a few photos I'm gonna go through. Does anybody else want to add anything to it?
I think Haley should add something. She's
Yeah,
a
Haley.
huge fan.
Okay.
What made you fall in love with Avatar?
Maybe because like it is a kid's show and it was on Nickelodeon, but it wasn't afraid to tackle some serious, deep, mature issues. I mean,
Yep.
genocide, war, loss,
Right.
all of that kind of stuff in a Nickelodeon show. That you never really see that, and I think that's why I latched onto it. It was different from everything else at the time.
And it didn't baby. They tackled a lot of intense topics
Yeah.
that we all could relate to, and I feel like it definitely like put it cultured us in a way where people who grow up watching the show, I think a lot of us are a little bit more conscious of some of the things that they presented in the show in real life. So
Yeah.
definitely,
That's well said. Yes, I feel like it helped me learn about the world.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, we'll go through the character photos. I have a few. We'll go through and we'll review.
Okay.
Okay, so Aang
Yay.
it's played by Gordon Cormier.
So cute.
Okay,
Cute.
let's talk about the casting and the acting. So
Okay. Casting.
The casting was almost perfect.
yeah.
I think he's great.
yeah, I would agree.
I think
I
so
love that it was
too.
diverse.
His facial
Like-
expressions were pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, from an acting perspective, I feel like he did it. I feel like I would have liked them to give him a little bit more, like as far as like that jovialness that Aang had. It felt like he was just serious from the get go, right?
Yeah, he was very,
He-
very serious. And like Aang he's a young kid. He's like a little goofy. And
Yeah,
I feel like they could have made him more so like
more silly.
how more
whimsical.
more like a kid, you know?
Yeah.
Bubbly, made him
Bubbly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Haley, what do you want to add?
I feel like they should have let him ride the elephant koi and do other things like that he did in the show because he just he was a bit too serious. He's still a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I wanted them to add? The tornado scene between Zuko and Aang when they first met. The water tornado scene.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Uh,
I was
feel like they
surprised
didn't really do too
that.
much when they
Also,
met.
I don't really remember the show, the animated show that much, but Appa was not in the crystal with him, the ice crystal with him, was he?
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
It was, but he came later.
Yeah, he came out later. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, we'll go.
Oh, can we talk about costume design too?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
They did such a good job with the costume design to make it wearable. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of like battle or action moments, and so the costumes I think honored the culture, if you will, but also they were movable, right? Like it was actually like they can compete or complete the action scenes and scenarios and still look cool.
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
I like the detail. There's
Yeah.
a lot of detail. I love that
Yes.
they added, I think they used Native Americans and sort of the Alaskan region to be able to help with some of the water tribes costumes, which I thought was really cool. Like, yes, honor Native Americans, allow folks to have jobs, right, that honor their culture or, you know, a variation of their culture. I just thought that was so, so cool.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Katara. I'm not sure how to say the actress's name. If anybody wants to help me.
I think it's Kio.
So
When
the
Kilo
only
Carmel?
complaint that I have is I kind of wish they made her more sassy because
Yeah.
in the
Yes.
animated
I agree.
series she was a lot more sassy, and here she seemed a lot chill. I mean, it's fine, but
Oh,
at the same time I was
Marcel. Like
oh,
that
I kind of
sassy
miss the
younger
sassiness.
sister kind of attitude.
Yeah,
That short temper that
yeah.
Katara has. Like Katara would get angry
Yeah.
very easily, and I
Yeah.
didn't see Katara. I don't think we saw her angry at all.
No,
Not too
I just
much. And
She would be
even if she
annoyed,
was,
like,
it was
maybe a
very
little-
soft. It was a
Yeah.
very soft
Yeah.
anger.
yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't give her that personality that she had in the
Yeah.
animated series, and
Or
also
that one
she
scene
became
where
a
she was
master in my
screaming,
opinion.
I'm completely calm.
Yo,
Well, in the animated series, not the live action.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
No, yeah,
exactly.
facts. And also she became like a master with without really training with anyone. I was expecting her to train when they got to the
Yeah,
North
they
Pole.
missed that.
She just read the scroll and she was like, I am the master now. Like,
Yeah.
I got that.
There was a lot
Yeah,
of
they were
character
supposed
development.
to.
Oh, I'm sorry, Boba.
No. I was about to say they were supposed to learn with Master Paku together.
Yeah, I was waiting
Yeah,
for like
yeah.
that moment. I was like, what's happening?
So yeah, she didn't do that in the show. They I guess they changed that.
Yeah.
And Aang doesn't even waterbend in the series
He
at all.
doesn't
Not in the
learn
first season.
anything. I was
No.
like, wait, when are they going to
That
mention
was a
he has
little
to learn all four
strange.
elements?
Book 1 is
Not
about
a mention,
water.
maybe once. I don't know.
It
Yeah,
makes
the
you
only time he
wonder
really waterbend was when he was in the Avatar state.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what the writers have envisioned for season 2. You know what I mean? If the season 2 is a possible thing, because I'm like, book 1, he accomplished a whole lot in book 1.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I
hope
mean?
they don't skip it to where it's like in season 2, he all of a sudden knows waterbending, and we have like a little time jump where we don't even get to see him
I
training.
feel like that is what they're planning to do.
Ooh.
I do feel that way.
I feel it's a little bit rushed personally. The first
Yeah.
season
It
was
showed a
rushed
lot
to
on
me.
episode 3 and
It was.
4.
Yeah.
There are a lot of skip
regards-
around, a lot of like condensing characters into like one storyline. And like at some point when I was watching it, I was like, oh, I can't wait when they go to the library. And then you never happen.
Wan Chi Tong was in the spirit world for no
Oh,
reason.
yeah.
That pissed me off. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, and this whole the grandmother thing wasn't even in it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I completely forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. Comment to that.
I would say the thing that kind of bugged me a little bit was a little bit of her acting. It kind of threw me off a bit. I don't think it was like there were some scenes that were like wasn't believable to me. I don't know if anybody else felt that.
I wouldn't necessarily fault the actress for that. Well, one, they're younger. The younger cast doesn't have as much experience as, let's say, Daniel Day Kim, I think his name is, or some of the older actors.
Yeah.
But in regards to Katara, I feel like certain nuances to the characters, like someone else was saying, her personality fell flat. And so I feel like the actress had to do what she could with the script that was given to her. Because it seems like most of the script, sometimes it didn't leave the subtext left to the audience to put pieces together. It was like, this is what this is. Katara is this type of character, but Katara is such a layered character. We didn't get her see her get angry. We didn't get her get to see her be upset that she couldn't learn the water bending as quickly as Aang. So there was just a lot of things that they left out. And I felt like for her, that's how they wanted to portray Katara. They didn't really want to get too deep into her layers, which pissed me off a lot, specifically with Katara.
Yeah. I really like to see that dynamic where it came easy to Aang, and she was, she gets upset, but also she works harder, and you see that growth from her.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that.
You guys waiting to see the blood bending?
Oh yeah.
I think it's more like later in the season though, the blood bending.
But
Yeah.
I feel like
But hopefully they add that.
they're gonna add it. I feel like towards maybe like the end of the season or something. Like
Haley, as a diehard fan, Haley, were you satisfied with the portrayal of Katara?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I agree with what everyone was saying. I feel like the script was like a little dry, and she was doing like the best she could with it. And yeah, she didn't have as much like, ironically, fiery passion as she did in the original. But for the most part, the casting was. I don't feel like you could have done much better. Like she really looks like
hopefully
Katara.
next season they'll grow into their character.
Yeah.
I think
Hopefully,
so.
That's down the
the
writing
series
direction.
suffers from only having 8 episodes. Like they might be an hour long, but I feel like if it had like 10 or maybe 13 episodes,
13.
that would be ideal.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have to condense so much. They wouldn't have to cut so much out. It would really benefit from more episodes.
I agree.
100%.
So that's a budget issue, but also I wonder if there were acting coaches also on set that were kind of
That's what I was
directing the
thinking.
actors to
Like
be a
maybe
little
the
bit more.
actor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think the actors did okay.
I mean, they should have took the money from Rebel Moon and put it into this show.
That one.
We're gonna-
We'll talk about that, Chris. We'll talk about that.
you know how I feel about that one.
Please don't let King Leon hear me say that.
I've been trying to interject this whole time and my mic was on mute. I feel so silly.
No, it's okay.
Go for it,
I
go
just
for
wanted
it.
to comment, just bring up one of the comments. Imira Cox says that Paku wasn't married to Katara's grandmother. They were never betrothed. And I thought that was a great point because that was something that I feel like added on to him picking on Katara and not wanting her to, succeed and stuff like that. Well, it wasn't until at the end he seen her grandmother's necklace. So maybe that wasn't a part of it, but that was something that they missed out. There were certain nuances and things that, left much to be desired.
Yeah. Ian Ousley or Owsley, I'm not sure how to say his name.
So
Sokka.
question. Before, didn't he like fake being Native American when he applied for this or something? Wasn't there some like
I heard
like
something
the rumor
like that.
I heard.
I
It's a
don't-
rumor,
I
but
don't.
I don't
know
know.
what came of it.
I'm not sure about that. I didn't hear about
okay?
that.
That was something that came up.
Like,
Yeah, go ahead, Google that. Go
was
ahead,
there
Google
any
it.
like confirmation or anything? Because I don't know.
I definitely remember hearing something about that, but I don't remember if anyone ever confirmed anything. I never saw anything solid about it.
Somebody said that they were trying to see if he was in one of the native reserves or like he's related to somebody from in the reserves, but they never found a connection. So that could be the reason why they're like, oh, he's not a Native American because he's not connected to the people from the reserves in some way. So I don't know. That could be one reason why. But
Okay.
yeah.
But how do we feel about him? This
I
performance?
really enjoyed him as Sokka.
I think
he
he
was
did a
good.
good job.
He was pretty good.
Good job. Like with the same thing as Katara, like he had the script limitations. I feel like he could have been a lot funnier,
Yeah.
but I feel like
they
he
did.
did,
Yeah.
he did a really good job.
Did anybody else freak out when they kissed like really fast? They kissed, and I was like, it was supposed to be a cheek kiss, and then they kissed, and I was like, oh.
You mean him and Suki?
Yes,
Yeah.
Because I was like, it
And
was
they made it a little steamy too.
Yeah.
Ooh,
With him with the wet hair and her taking
Right,
yeah.
it's no longer a kid show. It's Netflix, guys.
As far as things being rushed, though, I do think that like we're skipping some of his character arc,
Yeah.
from the animated series.
Yeah.
So what are you saying? What are you saying? So the whole thing behind him and them cutting his him being
Misogyny arc.
yeah. How do you feel about that?
It was trash.
I feel like that's about his character arc. That's you know what I mean?
Honest,
Like
it kind of because he kind of lost that that what do you call it?
Like
it kind of made him not as funny, I guess. I don't know.
think he was only
Because
really
Katara was always proving him wrong
Yeah.
with the gender thing, but without that gender thing going on, it kind of, there wasn't a lot of funny moments between brother and sister.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
like the whole cutting out his misogynistic traits.
Oh,
Like
misogynistic. That's what it was.
I don't
Sorry.
think that affected too much of his character's personality because, like, in the anime, I think they like resolved his misogyny by like the 4th episode. So it was only the really beginning when he was really misogynistic towards Katara, and then towards
That's
the
true.
Kyoshi warriors. But then he finally dresses up in the Kyoshi armor, which he didn't do in the show, which disappointed me. But like by the time he meets like Suki and the rest of the Kyoshi warriors, I feel like he is not as misogynistic anymore, and for the rest of the show, he has like a lot more respect towards women.
I
Yeah,
think that,
Suki basically just beats the sexism out of him,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
it's done from there. It never
Yeah.
comes up again.
I was gonna
And
say
I'm glad
that's a
that she
big
did
part
it
of his
because then it would have been
development.
like up to Toph, and I don't think he would have handled that.
No,
Top.
it would have been in a bad
Top
way.
would've-
It
Do we have-
definitely built his character for me, though, that he went through that arc in the show. And I
Yeah.
think it built his relationship with Suki a little bit better. It set their relationship up better because she was, schooling him and putting him on his ass. And he admired the strength and the skill that she had, which also goes back into his development of seeking out knowledge and tutelage through other people, and him getting stronger in his own skills and identity. So it kind of sucked for me that they left that out, because I feel like it just gave him a touch of like, look at him growing up, look at him
Exactly, yeah. I was a bit
wising up.
impartial
And
to him.
yeah,
I was a bit
Character
impartial to his
development.
character. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like love the character as well. He was just there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know if I'm like remembering it right, but in the animated, did he meet Suki first or after?
Suki first and then Yue?
Yue?
Or unless
Yeah.
you
Or was it the other way around? Because
No, Yue is later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
Yue
the
is
animated?
later.
yeah.
Yeah, in the anime, yeah.
Okay, because there's a part where like I kind of like remember where he like spoke to Suki and was like, oh, like I dated the moon, but like in the Netflix show.
That was
Yeah, that's when they
met-
reunite in the second season.
Oh, okay.
Like after the Princess Yue stuff.
Because like in the Netflix show, he went straight to Suki and then straight to Yue, and I was like, wait a minute, you have Suki.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, you didn't even mention you have a girlfriend. Or I don't know. I was like, you a player.
That's what I thought too. But when they did the animated series first though, they did Suki kissed Sokka on the cheek.
And then
before they separated, before they separated, and then they went to the Water Nation.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll talk about Suki now. Casting, acting.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
I like that.
10 out of 10.
No
She was a little bit more
I got
aggressive
no
here.
complaints.
She was a little bit more aggressive here. Other than that, she's perfect.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting about this series is that the main characters in the animated series were not as strong in the live action, but then in the animated series, the characters that were kind of secondary really shined, I think, in the live action.
Yeah.
great point.
Yeah, no, really. Like, I just love like their outfits, the makeup, like I don't know, it's just perfect. It's so good.
The little
And they really
details
enhanced it
in their
too.
crowns.
Exactly.
Or
Whoever
like,
costume design, so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Haley, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think she's perfect. I really like the costume designs, like the way that the fans are in like her little like headdress is really creative.
Headdress.
I like the way that the eyeshadow is not just flat red. I liked the little hint of yellow in there. That was a nice touch.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think
acting was
everybody had
perfect. Like
different.
that was the best.
Yeah.
And it was a great touch too, because when Kiyoshi has her scene where she's embodies, where she
Oh, there you
embodies
go.
Aang's
Let's
body,
go.
hers was classic red. So I like that it showed that throughout the years they kind of started adding on a little bit more, and it made it look more regal how the Kyoshi warriors had it.
And then regal versus like more modernized. Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
So Kiyoshi, Yvonne Chapman. I think personally this is probably my favorite scene in the whole first season. What do you guys think of that scene when she took over?
It was amazing.
I was
Pretty
that was
like,
amazing.
epic. Pretty epic.
Action, amazing.
Kyoshi
Bending.
has
She ate. No crumbs
I
left.
love her.
Yeah. She gave the boys the work.
just like Suki, she was also a lot more aggressive here. The only thing I didn't like though was that she started yelling at Aang, because in the animated series she was a lot more calming. Here she kind of started yelling at Aang when they were at the spirit world, so I was like, oh, did that happen?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
She's more like a mentor and calming, and when she was talking to like Aang, and she gravitates more anger towards like the other
Him being
people.
in the iceberg, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was 100 years late.
So who's your favorite Avatar? Not excluding taking out Aang and what's the other one's name from the second show?
Korra.
Legend
yeah,
of
there you go.
Korra.
Disrespect Korra like that.
Uh, who's the waterbender in the show? The Avatar that comes to him at the north.
Wait,
Do you remember?
Avatar
Do you remember?
Korok?
a little bit. Korok was the water.
Haley, I'm looking at you, Haley.
Yeah, Avatar
know,
Kuruk, the
Haley.
one that he meets in the North Pole. Because
Yeah,
he
yeah.
doesn't meet up with Kuruk in the original. Well, not at the North Pole, but
Mhm.
I think they meet
yeah,
at the
that's
spirit
Avatar
world.
Kuruk.
Korra.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
meet
they
in the
meet at the
last
spirit world.
episode.
So who's everyone's favorite? Me personally, I gotta go for Roku.
Mine is Kyoshi.
I like Roku too.
Roku. Mm.
I'm feeling like Kyoshi,
Mhm.
maybe
Yeah.
kind of closely tied with Yang Chen.
Okay.
I like the air nomads.
I like that.
Mm,
Yeah,
I see you.
I'd agree with that.
let's go.
Early
I'm gonna have some. I'm gonna keep the spicy ones for last.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Chris already knows.
Whatever, Chris.
Look,
Okay.
I'm just gonna be eating
Yes,
stew.
you way.
Amber Mid Thunder, Princess Yue. What did we
Yeah,
rate?
so I wear my little moon necklace to represent for her because I love this character. But in terms of the costume, because I'm all into cosplay and stuff,
So
y'all,
fair.
her wig was really bothering.
Yeah.
Yo, so everyone online is I don't know why putting her photo up against the I don't even want to mention that movie. That,
We don't talk about it.
It doesn't exist.
yeah,
There is no movie.
I don't know what you're talking
There's no
about.
So,
Okay,
so
that's the plot twist. There was no movie.
I think you're right though. I think the wig is what kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
It was really
I mean,
noticeable.
with all these lace fronts out here and like all different types of wigs, I was like,
You know,
wow, y'all. I know the budget was tight. I know it was tight, but really,
Look, come on, it ain't that tight.
It's not that much to get a little lace front, you know.
A little
They didn't let
Other
Tyler
than
Perry
that, I
in on the
think she's
set.
gorgeous. I know that's what they call Tyler Perry for that one. But I think she's gorgeous. I loved the costume design for her. I thought she was really regal, just like in the animated series as well. But what do y'all think? I liked her. But
I liked her too. Like
I thought
besides the wig.
it was interesting how they had her meet Sokka already in the spirit world, and she was like the fox.
Yeah.
yeah, that was a cool twist.
It was interesting because I was like, oh, that kind of reminds me of Princess Yue. Ended up being her, and I was like, oh, okay. Guess we're rolling with that.
It was a nice change.
Another interesting thing
like that
also
change.
that kind of threw me off was that she was water bending in the live action. So I was like, whoa. But was she actually like a waterbender though in the animated series? I don't
She
remember.
was
I
a
remember
non-bender.
that.
Remember.
Or
She
did
was
she
a
never show?
non-bender.
Haley probably knows. Haley's the biggest fan probably out of all of us on here.
Princess
From
Yue, yeah, she was entirely a non-bender in the original.
Yeah, that's
but
what I
I've
thought,
always
'cause I
wanted
was
her to
like,
be a
"Ah."
waterbender because she's
Yeah.
literally the moon spirit. I
Yeah.
mean,
It makes
so
sense.
she
Yeah.
should be a waterbender.
Well, have you guys
Right.
heard the theory that Princess Yue was supposed to be the next Avatar
That-
after Aang if he didn't get stuck in the iceberg, and that's why she was born a stillborn? Because there was no the Avatar soul didn't get recycled into her, and there was no soul.
I like that theory.
That's
Wow.
I
It's
like it.
interesting.
Because when she was born would have been like right around the time Aang would have died if he hadn't gotten stuck in the iceberg.
Mhm.
Huh. That's a cool theory.
Wow.
I haven't heard that before.
I like that.
That's my headcanon.
Dang.
I was like, well, crap.
Jess, what do you think?
Um,
Casting, acting.
Right. I think that casting, she was good. I liked her portrayal of Yue. I liked the different, they added some more layers to her with the bending and different scenes they added with her, which I liked. But yeah, I guess I'm with Royalty. The only thing that I wasn't a fan of was the wig. It just didn't look natural. But everything else was perfect. I didn't have anything negative
Yeah.
to say about Yue.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that wig. They gotta fix that.
Well, I guess they can't now. She's gone.
Yeah, she's gone.
Well,
They have a flashback. I don't know. It's
We'll go to
never-
my favorite character in the show. Well, not this show, but in Avatar in general.
okay.
Oof.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, I was wrong with the delivery.
Casting, acting,
What was that?
casting, acting. What do we say?
I like that.
10 out of 10.
Love it so much.
He was really sassy, and I liked it.
Mhm.
I like,
wanted
yeah,
him to be
I like
more
the sass.
Look, the combination of him. I mean, the relationship with him and Uncle Ira is integral to the Avatar story. But I was living for their relationship.
Mhm.
In the show. I think that was one of the highlights for me. And yeah, so I like the casting.
I like the casting. I just wish they kind of would have dubbed like Dante Bosco's voice over him when he was talking.
I know the voice is
Kinda
hey, look,
threw
the
me
voice
off.
is cold. The
Dante
voice is
Bosco
cold.
is so iconic and
Yeah,
unique.
I can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
You can't have
characters,
that.
some characters are really hard to like try to enjoy them when the animated voice is so
Just so
ingrained in
superior.
your head.
It's
Like,
goated.
I felt that with a lot of the characters, and I'm like, of course they're not going to sound the same. But I
Same
wish,
with Iroh.
yeah,
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
match that voice. I think they
No.
got the nature of the voices right. Even the actor who plays Zuko, he doesn't sound like Dante Bosco, but he carried
But-
that energy of Zuko,
Yes.
which was fine.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Brought
Yeah.
the Zuko energy for sure.
Mhm.
I also like that they went more in depth with how he got his crew members. I thought
Yeah,
that was
I
really
like
good.
That
that.
was the
very
best
That was
change
really-
that they made in the series.
very-
That
Yeah,
was the
Yeah,
best
that was a
change.
good
very
change.
deep, and it actually made me cry.
Oh.
That was a
part
good
made me
that
cry.
and then adding the funeral scene with
Yes.
Uncle
the
Ira.
funeral.
That made
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
happy they added that.
Definitely,
where the
it
series
created.
really
song.
shined.
Mhm.
The leaves of the vine.
subtle leaves of the vine in the background.
Yeah,
like,
just teared up
Who
just
else
a little
cried?
bit.
Instant
Perfect
tearjerker.
use of leaves from the vine. Perfect
Mhm.
use.
Yeah,
the vine
definitely.
will never fail to
It
make
created some good depth of character for Zuko, because like at the beginning, if you were
I guess it says it.
What happened? Hello again.
I have no clue what
Back.
happened. My screen froze. I couldn't hear anything you guys were saying.
oh
Fire Nation struck.
Fire Nation
Yeah.
attack.
Oh god.
Speaking of that, the eclipse.
Right?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh man,
Yeah,
everybody
like-
was making memes.
So, I wanted to ask you guys. Do you guys know in the? I think Haley might know, but the voice actor actually changed in the animated version for
Yes.
Iroh.
It
And I know
did,
a lot
yes.
of people noticed.
Mhm.
Because-
What's going
Yeah,
on?
because
episode where
yeah,
recorded Leaves of the Vine was actually his last episode because he knew he was dying.
That episode made me bawl.
They said,
Mako is a legend.
at the end,
Knowing
Mako
that
was-
it was dedicated to him,
Mhm.
I just teared up. I was like, I can't take this.
Yeah.
I'm sad this week.
Yeah, but Iroh, I think
That's
it's a lot of people's favorite character.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wish
For
there
sure.
were more. I wish there were more T references in the show, though.
Me too.
Especially when the Jasmine Dragon comes in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
His tea shop.
I wanted him to be a little more funny too.
More like
And the-
pie
Yeah.
show gags
The
or
pie
whatever.
show.
Ozai.
Listen, y'all.
Yeah.
When Ozai took
Thirsty.
that shirt off or
Ozai
cape,
looked-
whatever he had on.
They made him look good.
It was too
Yeah,
much, to be
we're in the Fire
honest.
Nation, y'all. I don't know.
We saw like in the animated series, you don't really see him to the end, and
Yeah.
but I think
Mhm.
them changing to adding him in early, I think was a good
Yeah.
change.
It was
Definitely a
it
good
was.
change. And Azula too. That was just
Daniel
a good
Daniel
idea.
Kim really embodies the character. I feel too, and it's like
He
it's worth,
does.
it's worth seeing him early in the show than waiting.
Yes.
Yeah.
It sure was worth seeing him early in the
Yeah.
show.
'Cause I do in the animated series, I do like that he's a mystery until the
Yeah.
end, but like
Mhm.
Daniel Day Kim is so good. I'm glad we get
Yeah.
so much of him because I would not
It
want to wait until
definitely,
season for him.
No, absolutely.
Mhm.
Them introducing him so early, it gives us more of an impression of how serious this,
Mhm.
like building up to the seriousness, because he's already showing himself to just be cold-hearted, cutthroat,
Mhm.
Especially Zuko.
which is great. Yeah.
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 Yeah, when they did
Playing
that
mind
scene
games.
with Zuko, when Zuko first got, his
Mhm.
eye injury,
Sorry.
and he was in the bedroom, I was like, dang, we didn't really get that level of him or their interaction in the
Right.
animated series, but I really appreciated that scene. Not that it was a nice scene, it was kind of mean, but it really showed why Zuko was so deeply, troubled and sort of
Mhm.
tormented and obsessed with finding the Avatar, at least for this live action version.
Yeah, and I feel like there were a lot of really important flashbacks that they added to the live action that were not at all in the anime, and I feel like it
Yeah.
adds a lot to Zuko's story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to the main three that stirring a lot of controversy online. And
The big three.
Curious now.
big three.
Yeah, right.
And I want to hear what Haley has to say.
I do for
Azula,
sure.
Azula said it's just big meat. You know,
Chris.
really, really. You
I like
understood
that
that reference.
picture you went
understood that reference.
I think
Azula's so cute. Sorry.
I think all three of them were done really well.
yeah,
Even if
so
May and Ty Lee didn't really have a lot going on,
Yeah.
I still they really look
Yeah.
like the characters. I love their costumes. Can't wait
the
to see more of them.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I feel like the casting was really well, but I feel like it's a similar situation as Kataro, where they weren't
Mhm.
given good scripts and they weren't written well. But
Yeah.
I feel like if they have really good potential for the future seasons.
Yeah, I'm excited what
Um,
they're gonna do for the next season.
Yeah.
What's up, Bubba?
I'm hoping that next season that they'll add more of the blue fire rather than the showing off the lightning
Mm.
part, because
Yeah.
I think she was she had more of the blue fire.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that it wasn't entirely blue and you could just see like hints of blue in the flames.
Like, yeah, they
Yeah.
started teasing it as if it's gonna build up to her eventually permanently having the blue flames.
Mm.
Did Mai even reference Zuko at all in the show as her boyfriend or no?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. No.
So I saw a video on TikTok. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like there was like a hint of like, I think she mentioned him being gone, but that was it.
Yeah.
So I saw a video on TikTok and by someone named Annie Schaefer talking about the whole controversy with with the big three. And she kind of breaks it down, and I want to see what you guys think what she said. Hold on. Let me see if I can actually share this. Also share my system audio. Okay.
While you're trying to. Oh,
Tell
my
me, give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
I can explain why a lot of people weren't happy with the casting of Azula and Princess Yue in the new Avatar: The Last Airbender. It has nothing to do with their acting abilities, they were both great. It has to do with essence, and how, particularly in fantasy, we are used to seeing dramatic. Let's take a step back. What is essence? It's a scale of yang to yin that we all can fall into, depending on how soft or angular we are. Why is it that Kate Blanchett makes the perfect elf or the perfect wicked stepmother? Well, it's because she's a dramatic. And dramatics, because they're so angular, just have this natural otherworldly look to them, which is why we see them as elves or angels or demons and things like that. Love this chart. I got it from Reddit because it's all of the different Kibi types, but all Asian actresses and celebrities. So over here we have our yin side. So this is going to be that softer, our girls next doors, our beauty queens. And over here's our yang. This is going to be our angular, our dramatics, queen of a country, queen of the ocean. You get what I'm saying? Like, all of these women are beautiful, but they give off different vibes just with the way that they look. To go back to casting, I see a lot of people on the internet picking on these women, and she is stunning. Same with her, beautiful. However, they fall on this yin side. And these characters, we were expecting more of a yang beauty. Now that I've pointed this out, every time you're watching fantasy, you're gonna start noticing this. The human women are gonna be more of this yin, and then like the elves or the spirits are gonna be on the yang. She's a dramatic. She'd make a great elf. Great princess of the underworld. Also a dramatic. Look at her. She doesn't even have to open her mouth, and you're like, she could be a fallen angel. She could play that role. Dramatic essence. Without even opening her mouth, she can give you chills because she has that otherworldly essence. And remember, the dramatics can go evil or good. That's where like the acting and the styling comes in. And people keep talking about the 2010 Princess Yue. Oh my god, her wig was so much better, by the way. But it's because she's far more angular. She gives off an angelic essence. She's on this side of the yang spectrum.
So what do we think?
I agree. Yeah, I
I
see
think
it.
I could see what they're saying, yeah.
It's because of the little chubby cheeks. I got chubby
It's
cheeks.
chubby cheeks. That's what I mean.
I feel like it might have some merit because she did look a little bit more full in the face, which gave more of like a cutesy look. But also, I think it was Haley that said her basically the way that she was like acting wasn't like I think it was you, Haley. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. But basically the lines, oh no, maybe it was Lynx. The lines that she was given were not great lines. And I also feel the same way about Azula that I do about Katara, in which I feel like they didn't give her the layers that we're used to seeing. Azula's very calculated. She's very like narcissistic and dark, and I feel like they just showed like, I just want to really impress my dad and I'm going to work really hard to, you know. So there was a lot of nuance that they left out on Azula, and I feel like if they would have gave her more to the script to have her show maybe the potential range that she has, it wouldn't matter if her face was round, but her lines were just not giving Azula.
There definitely could be like some improvements
Yeah, I agree
because
with that.
a lot of
her
people
emotions were showing too early on.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a similar situation as like when we said for Zuko, we wish it was Dante Basco's voice. I feel like I wish it was Grey
That
Griffin's voice for
Mhm.
Zuko because like she has one of the most like distinct voice. Like I know her voice when I hear it, and it's just very sharp and threatening sounding.
like a little
Yeah.
gravelly,
Yeah.
like threatening.
And she's terrifying.
Zuko's
She's
voice is
terrifying.
very, like distinct, and like that's what I'm expecting to hear when I hear Azula.
Yep. Agreed.
I agree.
How's it going, Hilly? Thanks for joining us. Question: who's everyone's favorite character from the show?
Toph.
Like the original or the live
No,
action?
the live action.
Just
Oh,
straight
right.
to like, the person that's not there. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for Toph.
I would have to say Fire Lord Ozai. I think that he was a perfect casting, and not only because I have the hots for him, but he was perfect. Everything about him, he carried the essence of the character. He looked amazing, and he's a top class actor. So I was very satisfied with him.
Great answer.
Want to go around, Boba? Who's your favorite? Nobody.
Don't make me choose.
Don't make me choose, seriously.
Choose one. Choose one. One.
Well, like the other people have said, I'm still waiting on Toph, but for now, it's Probably Suki. Yeah, she did really good in the live action, even though she had a very small part.
Small part, yeah.
Yeah.
Royalty?
For me, it's kind of hard to choose. But if I had to choose something, it wouldn't be one person, it would be a group. It's the group of women that are the waterbenders towards the end. Seeing them come together and fight for their right to waterbend, that was just something that was a very different element for me.
Oh, it gave me chills.
Right, me too.
Yeah.
So you have to say them collectively as a group.
Chris, we're gonna pass you because you're already cosplaying your favorite character.
Look, we did skip. We
is
did
the egg,
skip one
though?
person though. We did one. Look, my cabbages. You know, put some respect on
I
his
like
name.
that the original
Put some
voice actor
respect.
played him in the live action.
That's dope. I like that too.
Really iconic.
So, Chris, who's your favorite in the live action? Is it I?
Oh, he froze again.
That's a lot.
Ooh. Did I really freeze?
Oh. Freeze for a really long pause.
I never freeze.
So it's not
okay. I'm actually gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Fire Lord in this one right now. I'm waiting for top. Top is probably it's probably top. It's probably
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Who's playing? Do you know who's playing Toph? Who's playing Toph?
I don't think that they've made that casting yet.
Yeah.
But they
We'll wait and see.
They probably have, but it's just not known. Yeah.
Haley?
Oh, my favorite. That's such a difficult thing to say. You know, I feel like no one said June yet. June the Bounty Hunter.
June was good.
That was so good.
Good.
And
Good.
I like the way that they flipped the I guess the attraction. It's June that thinks that Iroh is cute. As opposed to Iroh being in June. I like that. And the way that every time she called him cute, he was like stun locked. He just was like and that was so cute to me. I love that.
Yeah. Good answer, Haley. I like that one.
Thank you. Oh.
You're welcome, girl.
That was a good answer.
Lexi?
It's honestly a very difficult decision for me. I feel like this is unpopular, but I kind of want to say Sokka because I really like the actor, and I've seen him in interviews and stuff, and he's actually a lot funnier in interviews. And I feel like if they give him a little more like improv freedom in the future seasons, like he will feel even more like Sokka. And I guess that's just me, like wishful thinking, but like I think I enjoyed him as Sokka, and I feel like he will do even better as Sokka in the future. And
He is really funny in interviews. Yeah. He feels like Sokka even.
Yeah, he feels
camera.
more like Sokka in interviews than he does in the show.
It was the same thing for the Katara actor. She's a lot more sassy in person than her acting as Katara.
Yeah, they gotta let them do improv in the future.
Yeah.
Give them a little bit more freedom, Netflix.
Yeah.
Ilya?
I don't exactly have anyone right now either, because like I feel like all the the main characters, they haven't really grown on me yet. So it's like just hard to just like pick and choose. I mean, like I liked Iroh and like how they represented him, and just anyone else. Maybe Suki. Like I feel like I like the side characters more than the main characters right now currently. Yeah. I'm waiting for Toph, basically. So
Everyone's waiting for Toph. Seems like everyone's waiting for Toph.
Yeah.
So was Toph in the first season or the second season of the animated show? Because I remember
only in the second.
The moles. Was she introduced where the moles were? Was it that time or no?
No.
I think she was shown. So in the animated version, she was shown during in a vision when they landed in the swamp. Yeah.
And then like 2 episodes later, they actually introduce her.
Yeah.
The Earth Rumble 6 thing.
Speaking of Toph, I
tournament.
really hope they have the boulder in season 2.
Please.
The boulder feels conflicted about.
We need the Rock. We need the Rock to do that.
I hope they can afford to get the Rock for one.
That would be
That's great
amazing.
casting, actually.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, The
Jess?
Rock better be listening.
Hey, Mr. Cosplay Alliance, you didn't tell us what your favorite character was.
I'll go after Jess.
Oh, I already said mine. Fire Lord. I was so excited. I said it first.
And that was if you hadn't said that, I would have said it.
I mean, I gotta go with Zuko. I mean, I'm not completely 100% happy with the character. In general, I mean, I'll give it like a 8 out of 10 for now. But just because I love the character from the animated, I'm waiting for him to just,
What did you feel like lacked? Like what did you see? What did you want to see in his character that you didn't see?
Besides the voice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even though Zuko was a little bit like he was very pretentious in the show, like I feel like he's very he was still serious in the animated version more than he is. He doubts himself a lot in the live action, I find. Whereas in the animated, he was a little bit more, confident in what
Very
he did.
headstrong. Yeah.
I feel like there's a little bit of a lot of self-doubt with his character here.
I feel like they gave him a little bit more of like a softer approach, where we see him being angry and boisterous, but especially the scenes that they added in, they want to make him a little bit more
but it made
more range.
To me, it made the scenes where he was like, especially when he was with Aang and they were talking and he kind of realized what Aang was saying, but he got angry afterwards. It made those scenes seem less serious, I guess, based on
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But yeah, he's still my favorite.
All right.
All right, let me see the next question. Anybody else want to add anything? Ooh, what's that character's name that shot the stuff out of his forehead?
Oh, Sparky Boom Boom Man.
Sparky Combustion Man. Sparky
Boomy.
Ooh, what does it think about Boomy?
I liked
Boomy.
him.
I like Boomy.
I like Boomy.
He was scarier than I remember.
Yeah.
Boomy's like, quit playing games, and he starts playing games.
I know. I like him.
It's
So, okay. How do you guys think the live action so far? It's only been one season. How do you think the live action has lived up to the reputation of the animated show?
Next question, please.
Yeah, I feel the same. Next question,
It'll
please.
never match up because the animated version is perfect
Even
across the
if
board.
like
It's impossible to match up.
This being said, I have to say I haven't played the video games, but reading the reviews online, supposedly Fallout is a near perfect rendition of the anime
To the
of
show,
the video
right?
game, to the video game.
Agree.
So we have to answer the question because it can be done.
I think video games and there's just certain things you can do in animation that you can't do in live action. There's always going to be that. Like,
but that's the same as
you're
the
not
video
going to be
game,
able
right?
to match.
Animation was probably the best medium for the story of Avatar to be told.
Yes.
In my opinion, at least.
So
Facts.
something with the comparison to Fallout, the thing with Fallout is that the characters in the show were not in the games. Like, these are characters that were made for the show, and they have nothing to be compared to, where it's like you can't compare Lucy to a Lucy in the game. Whereas like we have Katara to compare to Katara, and we have everyone, we're like comparing off of existing characters, while with the Fallout you're just comparing about like creatures.
It's kind of like the
Okay,
ghouls,
I'll
kind of
rephrase
thing.
the question.
Or,
I'll rephrase the
right?
question. How does the live action show hold up to the live action movie?
Oh, geez. Okay. Literally.
I think
Again,
almost
what
anything is better
movie?
than
What
that.
movie are you referencing, sir?
Now, I will say,
about the movie.
in that,
Like,
in that comparison, I really, really, really appreciated the special effects and also the fight scenes way more than that film that shall remain nameless.
Yeah.
I was like, please do it a little bit justice. I know they had.
Did you prefer the arrow on Ung's head in the first one?
I'll give it to them where like I can appreciate that they gave it a bit of a pattern to, because that's something that wouldn't have happened in animation. So I can give that appreciation, but it's not something I needed. Like if it was just a solid arrow like it is in this live action.
I actually like the ending of the movie though, where he kind of like the waves were coming up and he was holding off the waves.
I'll be
I
honest.
felt it was very
gonna
it was
be
very epic.
honest.
I don't remember any of it.
I
No?
never
The best
saw
part of that
it
movie was when it
because-
was over.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the best scene
I
of that movie.
refuse to acknowledge that it existed.
It was so
I
bad
will say
remember.
for the show, I think they did a good job with the sets, the world building.
Yeah.
Like I said, the fights, I really did like most of the fights. I think they did a good job. Like I said, it's just hard to convey certain things in live action.
Yeah,
It is.
that's true. I feel like a lot of the fighting scenes, compared to the animated, it's a little bit slower on the show. Especially the waterbending seems a little bit slow. Like, yeah, it feels very slow when she's picking up the water to throw it. Like, you know what I mean? There are certain
only
aspects.
so much I feel like they can do without making it look weird, like
Yeah.
CGI weird.
No, that's true.
Opinion about the show overall. I feel like the cartoon was so perfect that it'll always be difficult. Like no matter how much budget, I feel like nothing will ever be of equal comparison.
Well, part of it also is because we all kind of like really watched it as like kids, so we set it up on this like pedestal of like nostalgia, and that's what I do.
Yeah,
That's definitely a big
Maybe
factor of
if
it.
they made the live action into like their adulthoods, there's nothing to compare.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It would have
Something
been like
completely new. Yeah.
yeah, it would
Just
have
a
been
completely original
new.
story set in the Avatar universe. Then
That would be
people
cool,
wouldn't
yeah.
be
That would
comparing
be
it.
cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
I
maybe
feel
if
like-
they oh sorry, what's that?
No, go ahead, Lynx. You were talking first. but-
Okay. So I feel like, in the animated, if they continued like the story with Zuko looking for his mom, that would be something interesting to like
That's a
They could
great
adapt
if
from
it's
the
if they're
comic
not gonna
books.
yeah, exactly. If they're not gonna animate it, maybe make it live action or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well,
That would have
cool.
been good. That would
animated.
have been good to continue.
Hold on. You might need to get a check for that one. You might need to get a check for that
I
one.
agree.
I think next year, 2025, they're coming out with the animated like sequel to the like
It
original.
just got delayed to 2026, actually.
Yeah.
It got delayed a few months
original
into
game
2026.
adults. They just released the voice actors too.
Mhm.
Dante Basco is still going to be Zuko.
Good.
Bless
We
Dante.
need that.
We gotta get Dante on the show. Chris, hook
I
it up.
know, right?
Call him up.
No pressure.
Yeah,
No
Chris, you
pressure.
got connections.
I actually have to leave. I gotta pick
All
up
right,
my
Bubba.
kiddos.
Okay.
All right,
Bye,
Bubba. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Literally, as soon as you said Chris, get him on the show, I froze. I'm just
One of the
letting you
things
know
I was going to say as far as adaptations are concerned is with every anime and animated series, it seems like they always have a struggle trying to adapt it to live action. And like Haley was saying, it's because of the nature of the medium. You can do whatever that you want in animation. You have you can do as many episodes. So when it comes to live action, one of the things that happened with Avatar is they tried to condense so much within their budget and the time frame that they had the actors in. So we already see the interviews that they're doing now with Gordon. He's shot up from when he was filming the show. So they're trying to compact everything together. And so they're, as OG fans, we're kind of looking like, why'd you guys do that? Why'd you, but they're trying to work with what they have, I feel like. And the adaptation is never going to be as good as the original. I think for what this show is, somebody who never watched Avatar before would enjoy watching this series.
Yeah,
but as
exactly.
OG fans, we're going to feel like,
we're
why'd
so
y'all do that?
critical.
I mean, you gotta think as far as like expense, like the cost to build all those sets and stuff like that. It's like when they're cutting stuff, I guarantee you they're like, okay, what can we do? We spend all this money on this set. Let's get all we can out of this set. Let's get all we can. Like, there's only so much story they can tell, and I think that's a huge part of it.
I mean, especially with him growing up, as you say, he's getting taller. There's still CGI. I mean, if they can give Deadpool baby legs and Marlon Wayne make Marlon Wayne's a baby, and they could do it.
Right.
Stop.
What?
Sir.
What are we saying?
Stop. CGI his legs? Is that that's what you're doing?
Why not?
Someone in the
What
comments like
was
way
the
earlier.
Marlon Wayans again? When he was a baby?
What'd you
Chris,
say?
Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, what happened?
I said, what was that movie called with Marlon Wayans when he was a baby?
Little Man.
Yeah, there we go.
But again, stop it.
No, sorry.
Yes. Okay, so other than Toph, because I guess you guys have already put it out there, what are you looking forward to in season 2?
More incredible costumes.
Yes. And Toph.
And I'm
And Toph costume.
I'm
that,
waiting
like-
for Aang to learn
I was about to
fire
say, yeah.
and water bending.
I want to see actual training.
And yeah,
We have to see
exactly.
Aang actually waterbend finally.
Yeah.
I want to see the gang in the desert and the cactus juice.
Look, here's the thing. One of the things I missed though about this is like the big three or whatever. They were separated a lot during this first season. Like they didn't spend a lot. Like there was not a lot of time for them to actually bond and like.
Which big three are you talking about?
Aang,
Yep.
Katara, and
Aang,
Sokka.
Katara, and Sokka.
Oh, I think
they
so.
were like
Yeah.
they had
They
their
sent
own
them
like
on their
separate
own a lot.
things going
Yeah.
on, and they really didn't spend a lot of time together.
Which happens like later on, but they did it like right from the bat, and you don't really see like that exactly how you were saying, like that connection, like more of, like a family bonding of like being togetherness. Yeah.
And we haven't even seen Aang and Katara. There was no mention of his crush on her or anything like that. So I don't know when they're going to
None
start.
of
It
that.
was kind of hinted in the last episode. I think with her, when he was kind of like in that whatever state he was in, the whatever god,
The koi,
moon
the
state, yeah,
giant koi fish.
Yeah.
It kind of hinted
Koizilla.
at it a little bit. The one thing I hate, and I say I hate this about every superhero show, I don't understand how the superhero's like all the way over there, and she's whispering, and you can hear what she's saying.
It's the
I
connection
hate
they
that.
have.
I hate that. I hate that.
That was first they gave him super hearing.
But she's not. Yeah, she's not yelling. She's nothing. She's just there talking. And he turns around and looks at her. I'm like, okay. Guess you can hear what she said.
I mean, yeah, same thing for like any
That's
other
funny.
like animation. There'll be like one on the other side, and they're like, ha
Just
ha
talking
ha.
casually, yeah.
Right? They're just talking,
What the hell?
having a full conversation, having a backstory. Like, let me tell you why I'm like this. You know.
A question: did anyone find it weird? It's like literally the first episode, like during opening, he was like he was just like flying
He was
essentially
yeah.
into the sea.
Oh yeah.
Like
I hated that. I was like,
I was
damn,
like,
here be
yo,
damned. Like
I was like, okay, he's you know he's Kung Fu Jesus already. Like
Very advanced.
If only he had his glider, then we would like I wouldn't have cared, but he needs his glider to fly.
Yeah.
Can we talk
Well,
about opera?
Oh my god.
we need more. We need more.
I forgot that Appa and Momo existed. I feel like they're not in the series as much as.
But
they
I feel
should
like
be.
Momo and Sokka are
Yep, yep.
more close in this.
I was waiting for Sokka to say yip yip and start
Yip, yip.
screaming, but like they kind of skipped. That wasn't there, and it's like, oh, they're already flying. Oh, okay.
Circling back to like the Aang and Katara having a crush on each other. I was upset that Aang wasn't in the secret tunnels with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's where like I feel like that's where
Mm.
there's first a little bit of chemistry between them.
So none of the
Yeah.
creatures had. Taylor says none of the creatures had any sort of importance.
I just
Taylor,
read that. It's so funny.
I agree with you. It made
They
me
were just
sad.
there.
I mean,
I-
they're
I-
like the cute mascots, you know.
Somewhat. I feel like they did use Appa to travel far distances. They probably wouldn't make on
Yeah.
their own.
Yeah, for sure.
And Momo kind of
They
sacrificed.
got him to
himself, right?
rescue him.
Momo sacrificed himself in the last episode too. So it's
He did.
yeah, I wouldn't say they had zero importance.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they had zero importance, but their importance was definitely minimized
Yeah,
a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like
Absolutely.
does it just cost too much to have them on screen that often
Probably.
because they're
Probably.
entirely CGI? I feel like that's
Probably.
why they were excluded.
They do look great though.
They
Yeah, they
do.
do.
They
Yeah.
do. They did a really good job.
I
with
wonder
that.
if they're gonna handle it with like in the animation. You know, when Appa was like taken, what
Mhm.
right,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
'cause
kind of
Appa had a
like
whole episode.
he had a whole 3
Mhm.
whatever 4 episodes or
They
something. Just
better
dedicate to
include it in
him.
season 2, because I feel like what pissed me off the most is when they showed Wan Shi Tong in the spirit world. I'm not gonna get over that. Like that really made me mad.
I'm
And the
wondering
fact
what
that
they're
it's
gonna
like
do with him.
exactly, we're gonna see him. I'm
Does
assuming
he
we'll see him
have the
again in the next
library? He
season.
didn't mention it.
Mhm.
Exactly. It was wasted. And then I thought about Appa, and I'm like, we're not seeing a lot of Appa. Appa is related to everything that happens in
Mhm.
Washington's library.
Yeah.
So I was just upset that they messed that all up. To be honest with you.
I
Yeah,
wonder if
I
they're
hope
gonna
they
like
don't cut the
mention it.
library out because they. Wait, am I frozen?
No.
No, you're good now.
Oh,
No.
You're good.
everyone else was frozen for a second. And I was like, am I the one that's frozen?
Yeah, that happened to me. That happened to me just now.
But yeah, I hope that they don't cut out the whole library scene when like Appa gets taken and Toph is trying to save them from sinking, just because they wasted Wan Shi Tong on this season 1.
That would be a shame.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go around and we'll give it a rating, 1 to 10.
Okay.
It's gonna be a little tough. So, Royalty. Unfortunately, you're the top left, so you got to go first.
All right. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Damn, she stole
Because
my
of the
rating.
little princess's
too.
beat.
Down.
7.5.
Chris, I think I gotta go with a 7.5.
I was hoping she was gonna say 7, and she had to add the 0.5 on.
Yeah,
I did.
that was so specific, and I was also going to say 7.
Are we all gonna say 7.5?
Everything that I loved about it was the score as well. I love the score.
Mm-hmm.
The score was good.
Score was good.
Haley?
Wait, I'm sorry. You cut out a
Oh,
little
goodness.
bit. Chris, what rating did you give it?
7.5. Same.
Okay, same.
She stole
Okay.
she stole my score. It's cool.
I'm
Whatever.
sorry.
Copied the homework. It's cool.
Even though I went first.
That's what the person who copied would do. I'm just saying.
Oh, whatever. Haley,
I want to hear what Haley's gonna say.
Right. Go ahead, girl.
I'm scared of coming off as like too harsh or negative, but honestly, and I watched through the whole first season 4 times.
4 times.
Oh,
geez.
yeah, 4 times.
Hardcore fan.
Mhm.
I would give it like a 4 or a 5 out of 10. I hope that doesn't sound too critical, but I was like almost right in the middle. Like I liked a lot of things, but I also disliked a lot of things. So I kind of just gave it an even score. I think they'll do better. I know seasons 2 and 3 are confirmed, so the whole series is getting done.
Okay.
I think it should only go up from here.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Especially
I liked
now-
a lot of things about it. I enjoyed it. I had fun watching it for sure.
Now that's serious, because I don't know if the people watching can see, but everything behind Haley right now is Avatar merch. Okay, everything.
I'm
behind her.
obsessed. I've been
Yeah.
collecting
Oh,
since
She knows what she's
2005.
talking about.
Haley,
I'll be
do you
honest with
play-
you. I agree with Haley. I wouldn't give it such a low rating, but is it something after I'm finishing watching the first time I'm gonna go back and watch? No. Will I go back and watch the animated show? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's good. I don't think there's a lot of rewatchability, even though I
Yeah.
did say I watched it 4 times. But
Girl, you did that. Okay, I was like,
Did
oh,
that.
I like to analyze it, and there was some things that I
Yeah.
missed, and
Yeah.
just
yeah.
Avatar's my life. So
Did
what to do with it,
Did
I
you
was
see
fine with it.
on Fortnite they added Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yeah, I'm not even a Fortnite player, but I love all the
Are
clips and stuff that I see of everyone playing. It's just
you,
great. Giving
uh,
Toph a gun is hilarious.
Exactly. And in the game, you can be Zuko, and I was airbending in the game. It's the freaking coolest thing.
Hilly, you gotta add me up. Add me up. Let's play.
Okay.
Build up. You got Do you got Avatar State Aang yet or no?
No, not yet. I still have to go through all like the quests
quest.
and everything.
Okay.
So far, they also have like the core quests too, but I'm not that excited about that part.
Lexi, what's your rating?
Same 7.5.
7.5?
I thought it before they said it. I just want to put that. I'm not proud.
No, I'm kidding.
Ilya.
I was gonna say like 6 out of 10 because, like everyone was saying, there's stuff that I do like and stuff that I don't like. For live actions, I sort of have like a really low expectation just so I won't be disappointed. So I'm excited that it's confirmed for the second and third season. So I can't wait to see what they have for us. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Looks like in the comments Taylor agrees with you, Haley.
Yay!
Did she watch it 4 times too?
Yeah.
Taylor gives it what? 5 out of 10. So
5 out of 10.
Yeah, 5.
It's not bad. Cause like it wasn't the worst thing ever, but it's still watchable. And for someone
I really think if they just had a few more episodes so that things weren't so condensed, they would have done even better. But I mean, that's not really their fault. They're given what they got. So
yeah.
But I really hope book 2 and 3 could at least 10 episodes.
Knocking
would be
on
cool.
wood.
Maybe more, but I don't know if they're gonna give it that. I hear it's a really expensive show, so I don't know if Netflix wants to throw even more money at it. We'll see.
More money.
We'll see.
I mean, I'm not gonna say.
You came at the very end.
Hey.
Smooth.
Wait, are we at the end already?
We'll start over. We'll go through all the questions again.
So it's not like X-Men where we went like almost all night the last time.
No. Not that kind of show, kids.
The thing is, like, I feel like for Netflix, like, what other shows are good right now? So other than maybe like the One Piece, that
I like the One Piece.
everyone
that was
is
pretty nice.
like looking forward to, but other than that, I don't know. So maybe they'll put more effort into this.
Jess, what do you give it?
I would probably give it a 7 out of 10 as an OG fan. I really enjoyed the things that they did get right, but some of the things that they didn't get right, I was a little bit critical. But overall, I enjoyed watching the show, so I'll give it a 7. And then as far as my perception of how maybe other people who haven't watched the show feel about it, I would give it overall an 8 out of 10. I think it was a great show overall. So anybody who isn't as critical as we are, I think they probably will enjoy the show. I think it was a great show.
That's Smooth.
7/7.5 out of 10. I'm a newcomer to Avatar. Like I've always known it was a thing, but I didn't watch it until during the pandemic. I watched it like 1.5 times. That halftime is because I started watching it with my daughter, who was only 3 at the time. And one day, my wife heard her wanting to beat up and kill the Fire Nation. That was the end of that. So,
as she should.
So, I would have been maybe like 5 minutes earlier, but I was looking for my stuffed Appa and I couldn't find him. So yeah. But yeah, I'm not as critical about it because I've been through this, having my fandom being destroyed or not by a live action before. X-Men, Transformers, all of that. So I'm no longer the same fan that was pissed off back then. So I'm a little more understanding of changes nowadays. So the things that would have pissed me off didn't. I went into it thinking, okay, this is going to be great. And then I started hearing rumors of different changes and things. And I was like, oh, Lord, well, here we go. But once I watched it, the things that, had I not already known that these things were going to be changed, I would barely have noticed. Like people made a big stink about, people made a big stink about Sokka not being
Sokka's
sexist.
personality.
Right. And not that I ever enjoy seeing somebody being sexist, but I get the point of him having a character arc. I would have barely noticed that he wasn't being sexist, because the dude from the North Water Tribe, he had enough for everybody. So he had enough sexism for everybody. But there was enough of Sokka being, having some kind of change, and to where I was like, okay, I'm cool with that, because again, we could all do without sexism, but I get the point of him, his character development. I noticed that they did they mixed, not Ba Sing Se, but what's the other city? Omashu. They mixed Omashu with the other thing, where the kid with the air wheelchair and his dad being a somewhat traitor. I was like, okay, they mixed this together, but I got it, because it's an expensive show. They can't
just
20,
go
30
from
something
one
episodes.
place.
So they had to mix some things together. So I was like, I don't quite like it, but I get it. You know, so it wasn't such an egregious change to where I was like, okay, I'm not watching this again. But yeah, I loved it overall. I kind of welled up a little bit when they because I don't think they did this in the cartoon, but they showed why that Zuko's crew, they showed why
Yeah, oh
he
yeah,
was
like
so
that.
hard on them. He was like,
Yeah.
look, he literally saved y'all's life. So
Yeah.
when he came back and everybody they changed their attitude about him, especially the leader of that crew, he was like riding him hard the whole time. So when they just showed him that respect when he came back, I almost had to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good.
I mean,
That was
I,
one of my favorite parts
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
show. I want
I
to
I
say.
think
completely
that was
forgot
my
about
favorite
that, yeah.
scene in the
No,
entire
the
show.
additions they
Yeah.
did with Zuko, and I think they were just great.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
wanted
I-
Zuko to be, as I said earlier, I wanted him to be a little bit more aggressive in the show, but I understand.
Yeah, and I liked how with Azula, like I think she's as young as she was supposed to seem in the cartoon. They made her
She's
seem like a
only
woman at
14.
times. Whereas like in this, at first I was like, she looks young. Wait, she's probably
She
as young
was
as she's supposed to
young,
be.
right?
So which I think even makes it worse in a good way. Like she seems more unhinged with how young she is. So I'm
Mhm.
like, she's finna be a problem. She's about to be a little psycho, which is what she's supposed to be. Like I feel like she's gonna be even scarier than we've seen in the cartoon, and I'm here for it.
I kind of disagree with you a little bit on that, but I do hope that she's better in the next season because I was so bored with her character.
You were
I
bored?
did not like her character. I
I
loved
can see
her
it.
costume
I can see
design. I thought she was gorgeous. She's
Yeah.
beautiful. But I just didn't like. There just wasn't enough crazy.
I can see
needed
she's a little too adorable, but I think just because we're used to what we saw in the cartoon.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah,
we were
That look in her
exactly.
eyes. That look in her eyes that you know.
That was it. Yeah,
yeah.
it was that subtle stuff.
You know, like that meme where it's like she's a cinnamon roll but can kill you. That's her.
Yeah, good point.
I'm gonna have to go look that one up. That
Yeah.
So
Smooth, it sounded like you had a lot of stuff in common with Haley and Lynx and Vim. Yeah, they all kind of touched on similar points. So
Yeah.
okay, I see you.
So we asked everyone their favorite characters. Smooth, I'll ask you who your favorite character is in the show.
That's a good one. I don't know if I.
It's
one
hard.
of those. This is one of those shows where like no, I don't have one particular favorite.
Mhm. A lot of us
Yeah.
struggle with it too, Smooth. We
It's
do.
difficult.
I feel better now because I have a hard time picking a favorite anything. I have two favorite colors. I couldn't pick between black and red, so it's just both of them equally. Like I
No,
never. I
most
could.
people here on the panel said Toph.
Yep.
And she was not in this.
I almost said it. I almost said it top a few seconds ago, but
It's
there
in
was
your
still.
head. It's in your head because you can't. Oh my god, just iconic. You can't wait for it.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna back out of that one. Yeah, it's
All I know is Toph
There-
better not be
there's-
nice.
was that?
All I know is Toph better not be nice.
Yeah, you're right.
I know.
All right, so we
Yeah.
asked the favorite character. We'll go around it. I wanted to ask, who's your least favorite character in the show? Royalty?
Probably Azula.
Zula?
Not okay with her. Mm-mm.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
That's it, Chris.
Damn. Fuck, I don't want to try. I don't want to trash, but I probably would have to agree. Yeah, I probably have to agree.
I
Really?
think if they worked on more like a dynamic, like for her character, then
Yes.
it would be
So the rumor is that Azula is actually the director's daughter. I'm not sure if that's true or not.
I heard that too. I don't know if it's true or not.
That's how she got the role. I don't know. Or could have played a key role in how she got it, but I'm not sure if that's true. But here's your answer, Royalty.
I feel better now.
Haley,
Not really.
who's your least favorite character?
Least favorite character. Okay, I'm going to go with kind of a super minor character that technically only appears in a flashback, but Hakoda, Sokka and Katara's dad. I don't like the way that he was like, he
Ooh.
didn't believe in Sokka, and like
Oh
that's
my
just not
god, I forgot
Yeah.
about
who their dad
that.
was.
Because that was an addition to
I
that
blocked
didn't
that
happen in the
part
cartoon, right?
out.
No, he's always
No.
very supportive of Sokka. He's always
Yeah.
believed in Sokka. I didn't like the way he was so harsh. He was telling Bato like we would have been killed, and
They
he
were just
messed
playing in
everything
his
up.
Like
face during
I
that.
passed
I
him
didn't like
for
that.
it,
I
right?
I saw that. I'm
I
like,
don't
that's
either.
not
I
my
agree.
Hakoda. That's
I
not
agree.
my Hakoda.
They did change how he did like the test anyway, but it, just like how they represented him as like the father figure, I was like, oh no, that's not how it goes.
Lexi?
That's definitely a tough one. I think I might have to go with Azula. But also, like, I just feel like those three girls, like Azula, May, and Tylee, we just didn't get enough of them. And what we did get of them didn't feel like
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I do want to bring up, I feel like none of us have talked about General Zhao, and I feel like
Stole
she
mine.
was really good. I just wanted to point that out. He did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
think Azula.
they gave him a really big role in as like a major villain. I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like Zhao, and then Azula will come in like later, but he ended up being like bigger than who he really is.
Yeah, he was a little bit more evil, and I wanted that level of evil to be part of Azula's character.
Yeah.
I agree. Hylia? Least favorite?
Probably I have to agree with like Lexi, like the girls. I don't know. Azula, Tylee, and Mai. Maybe just because they didn't really like show any background to them, like how they kind of joined in Azula, or like how Azula like coerced them to join in with her. They kind of were just already there, and we were just as a watcher, we're like just assuming that they are joining in with Azula, but like I don't know anything about them, and they kind of skipped that part. So
I wanted them to be. I agree with you, and I wanted them to be a little bit more bratty.
Mhm.
They were just so nice and just supportive of their friend who has a little temper. I was like, no.
And then May especially, I feel like in the cartoon you see May and she just looks bored and like very neutral. And I feel like this May looks sad. And I feel like May doesn't really look sad. She's just completely blank.
Everything's beneath her. Like
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Like when they came in season 2 of the cartoon, like Kylie said, they showed their backstory. They also showed how all their badassery and everything. So we got to see from the jump how much of a threat they were. Here it's just kind of they just there.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you, Lynx. I agree with that.
I'm hoping they expand on it maybe next season, but I don't know. We'll see, because they do play an important part, so maybe they will.
Yeah.
Jess, did you say?
I would. It's a toss up between Azula and Katara, but I'm going to go with Katara only because this was the season for them to really showcase who she is, and I feel like they fell flat on that task. So I'll say Katara. I want to see her next season really show those dynamics and layers that Katara has, but it wasn't doing it for me this season.
Good point.
Yeah.
Smooth?
I'm gonna say General Zhao. Now he did a great job, which is why I hated him. It's kind of like the same thing for, I don't know if you guys watch Walking Dead, but Merle from Walking Dead, like he did such a good job that I had a hard time. Like I met the guy in person. He's such a cool guy in person. I'm like, you are not the racist asshole that you were in the show. I mean, I knew he wasn't, but you know, when somebody does such a good job,
yeah.
When someone does such a good job at a part, it's like you are that person to me. So if someone makes me hate them as the character, then I really feel like they did a good job. So he's my least favorite character, but he did a good. They did a good job with the character.
See, I was kind of thinking that too. That's why I brought him up when it was my turn. I was like, I don't want to say he was my least favorite because he did a great job, but like, I did hate him.
The way how he kind of like manipulated Azula to kind of have more of a hatred with Zuko, he did a pretty good job. But that's where it kind of like roots from Azula's like character in like the show, where they made him see like she just has daddy issues. I
think daddy and mommy issue.
Yeah.
Just overall parent issues.
Alrighty, guys. I think if anyone wants to add anything else.
You didn't tell us yours. Yeah.
I was gonna say the big three, not the big three, but the second big three that you guys mentioned.
Powerpuff Girls.
Compared to the animated version, I don't really I don't see the connection between, like, I don't feel a connection between the three of them. I don't really care. Say I really care, but Ty Lee and Mai are like secondary characters, but they have to like get Azula right. I feel like Azula has to be gotten right. And I was watching the show with my son actually, and the last scene when they took over Amashu, he started laughing when she took off the mask. I'm like, what? Why are you laughing? He's like, she doesn't remind me of the. She doesn't remind me of the show. I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, I can't say, you know what I mean? That's an honest reaction, but
yeah.
Please don't lie. We watched the anime when he was small, and we watched the animated show like twice, right? And he's like, she doesn't
feel like her.
Doesn't feel like her at all. So I mean, I hope it's more of a script thing, and you know what I mean, and she does grow into the character, and it hopefully changes for the better. But the one good thing I have to say, we don't have to see that horrendous wig in the second season. No, so we're good.
Dang.
We're good.
I think that when it comes to the big three and the character development of those characters and the connection that they have, I don't feel like they really focused on that. I feel like what they most focused on was the extra scenes that they gave to Zuko and Iroh. And I know that they probably wanted to get that right because, let's be honest, Zuko had one of the best character development and redemption arcs, arguably, of all time. So really wanted to pour into that, but so much so at the expense of other characters that we also want to see have connections and build up. So hopefully season 2 they fix that and we get back to the original trio, because it's already established. We know who Zuko is. We know you guys put a lot of effort into Zuko and Iroh, but let's pick it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of that, kind of, I agree with you, Finn, and it made me think of something else that I feel like they focused too much on, which was, I feel like they focused too much on, I know we mentioned earlier that Aang wasn't a kid enough, but I felt like he focused too much on the 100 years. Does anybody else feel like that? Like, he should focus on it, but it was too much, and it was
even up to the last episode he was talking about it. Yeah, so
right.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I kind of, me personally, I believe that Iroh is the strongest firebender. I didn't really get that impression from him in the show. I understand probably it's harder for him to physically move around and do certain things, but I just literally only saw him move his hands and did like certain, firebending moves. From the animated show, he thought Zuko, if I'm right, the lightning, whatever, right? So I kind of, I felt like he wasn't portrayed as strongly as he should have been.
Yeah, we might see that in the next seasons, because from my knowledge, I don't remember him doing that much bending in season 1, but I could. Haley, please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you kind of are right.
Early on, you didn't know.
Early on, he trains Zuko and stuff, but
everybody knew. Everyone knew of him. Like, he was renowned. I think except for one person in the whole show mentioned his conquest or whatever, right? But like, he was renowned in the animated show as one of the greatest, right? So I feel like they didn't put enough respect on his name.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
With a K. Respect.
With a K. Anything else? Anybody want to add?
Yeah, I mean, in the I was just gonna say in regards to the bending, in the animated, I'm pretty sure each of the different bending styles are supposed to be inspired by 4 different types of actual like combat styles, and I feel like that wasn't really portrayed in the live action either.
Ooh,
You're
Yeah,
absolutely
good
right.
point.
I have
Yeah.
I have a friend who's a martial artist, and he pointed out something to me. He said he wasn't that impressed. He said Zuko did an amazing the actor who plays Zuko did an amazing job doing the fire bending, but he said in more particularly that the water tribe, when Katara was learning the water whip, the move was wrong.
Yeah.
And I know that Sifu Kisu did the animated versions martial arts forms. I don't know if he was brought in on this series, but instead of doing a water whip, and I can't do it because I'm not a martial artist, but basically the form is you leave a hand out and you move your hand to do the whip, but they did 2 hands. And so he was telling me that it wasn't exactly how it was in the animated series. So that's probably why you noticed that. It's like, it's not hidden as much as it was in the one.
You know,
So I think-
It's
actually,
interesting
the
that you say that.
demonstration you just did-
Zuko's
Oh, go-
actor was like the only one that had a background in like martial arts
Mhm.
prior to the show. So it's
Definitely
interesting that
showed.
people noticed that he had the best scenes with the martial arts.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense.
And it just felt like the different bend, like I feel like the earth benders and the water benders and like they were all doing similar movements when like each element has a different style. Like
Right.
earth benders have like very heavier movements,
Mm-hmm.
and like the water benders are lighter on their feet. But it felt like they were all just like moving to move.
Good point, Lexi. Good point. Fim, I was gonna say even the demonstration that you just did. I know you're not a martial artist, but I remember when she was trying to water bend, it just looked weak. Like
Yeah.
it didn't feel like her movement should result in a slap. But then when you had one hand back and you did it, I was
Yeah.
like, no, that actually looks more powerful.
Yeah,
more
the
open.
form was incorrect. The form was incorrect. And I wouldn't have known that unless my friend let me know that, but it does make sense because some scenes it was like, this is not hidden the way it's supposed to be hidden. You know?
But I just learned it from you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know either.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
The water
feel like
bending, especially from Qatar, felt very slow and very like it's like the water was heavy and she was trying to lift it up. That's kind of how it felt to me, and just like swinging it, like throwing a bucket of water on somebody. That's how it felt to me. Like it should have been a bit faster. But
I
don't
wonder
know
if they hired like martial artists to like practice and perform with the actors, but I'm not.
I would assume
I'm
so.
not
I
too
would
sure.
assume.
They have fight choreographers. Like they have to have,
Yeah, I would assume they have some.
Like they'll have like a choreographer specialist and then someone who specializes in martial arts, but I'm not
or some
entirely sure.
yeah, stunt actors or whatnot. I don't know. Anything else? Anybody want to add? Smooth. I know you came in late, so you want to add anything?
I'm gonna just say they better get Toph right. That's all.
This whole screen
That's
is
all I
on.
need.
I'm wearing green for Toph, so that's
What's everyone's favorite bending?
Ooh, water for me.
I'm stuck between water and fire.
People say that I give waterbender vibes, but
You do.
like I feel like
love it,
I'm really
though.
into earthbending. Like I'm very yeah.
I feel like I get firebending vibes. I don't know.
Yeah, I can get that. I get that from you.
I am a fire sign, so
I would say water, but I
sense.
like the chaos of fire. So I'm
Water.
fire.
Okay.
I'm
Haley?
really stuck because like water. I'm stuck between water and fire, but also my favorite martial art is Muay Thai, and I feel like if Muay Thai was in Avatar, they would be earthbenders because like they don't dodge. Like they just learn how to like take it. Like if they block kicks, they block kicks with their legs, with just with the bones, so that they hurt the kicker. So I'm like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm struggling between everything but air. I
I
don't hate
did like
air.
a kickboxing Muay Thai class, and
Mhm.
it's kind of like a lot of like kicks, and you're going right into it, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Haley, what's your favorite? Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm definitely an airbender.
Yes,
sure.
I was going to say the same thing.
Jesse, you're an airbender?
Yes, I'm airbender only because I'm an air sign. I'm a Gemini. Don't hate me.
Me too. Me too. Gemini air sign. Me
That's
too.
where we're the same. Yes, I love airbending because it's fashioned or it's from Bagua, which I think is a beautiful martial arts form. And I love that airbenders are more what's the word that I'm looking
Defensive?
for? They're more defensive and they're more so trying to evade the form of
Yeah.
evasion. So when it comes to my argument style, that's how I typically am. I'm gonna evade until I hit you with something. So I like it the most.
Yeah. I think I'm a little bit of air and fire. I'm very calm and dormant until you kind of push my buttons, you know what I mean? And then you get to that point where the fire comes out. So
Yep.
I think
Nice.
Right, let's remember how Aang acted when Appa got kidnapped. There's
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
some
That
fire.
Don't sleep
in
on
the-
air. Don't
So-
sleep on air.
One, they better
You're
not
just
skip that
holding in
scene.
the emotions and
Exactly.
letting it build up.
They got to have that scene in there, and they got to get it right. Like I'm looking forward to see how they handle Toph keeping that big pillar from that building. I'm sorry.
the giant library she held
Just
up.
the fact that
yes.
she can't see as well when she's standing on San Hole Sea.
That was such a sad moment. She's trying to decide: do I save my friends? Do I save
that's
Appa? I
right.
can't save them both. And
pivotal moment for her.
And then to have Aang like go off. I mean, to his point, like I'm sorry, to his credit, he wouldn't have known until he got out there that that's what she was doing. But like for him to go off on her like that, like, dude, I was trying to save all of y'all, and so I had to pick something. So not sorry. Like
Right. Yep.
yeah.
so. I think overall we're sitting at between a 4 and an 8.
that's a big range.
Yeah.
4 and 8, yeah.
So I think we could probably land on a 6.
Yeah.
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 Worth waiting to see what the
I
next
think
season
that's
looks
fine,
like.
right? That's
They've got time to get it right.
Yeah. You got time to get it
I
right.
think that's generous though, you know?
Yeah.
That's good.
It is very generous. I agree with you.
All right, so we'll close out, and I want to thank everyone for coming. I'm just gonna go around and let everyone plug their socials, starting off with Royalty.
Hey, Royalty Cosplay, y'all can find me on IG.
Cosplays by Shinobi. You can find me on IG, Twitter, and TikToks, all that stuff.
And IMDb, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Not as Cosplays by Shinobi, but yes.
All right.
Haley?
I'm Haley Bastet. You can find me on Instagram under just my name or also Avatar Oracle. One's just for Avatar and one is just for cosplay.
I gotta check that out. What?
I am Marcy Carey, just like my name here, except there's no space on Instagram and TikTok.
I'm Hylea Links. Instagram, it's hylea.links. And then everywhere else is Hylea Links. I have a YouTube now. And that's something new.
I apologize. I was calling you Hylia the whole time. I didn't know it was Hylia.
Me too.
Sorry.
Oh, you know, like Legend of Zelda, Hylea, like the Hylea shield or Hylian. Actually, I really don't know how they say it because it's a mute game. So, but you can just call me Lynx. It's just easier that way.
Then we got Jess.
You guys can find me, Feminist Chronicles, on Instagram and Threads. I also have a TikTok, which is Fem Chronicles, and I will never leave the health site that is Tumblr, femchronicles _.
Mr. Cosplay Alliance. For everyone that everyone knows I don't think you know my personal account, but yeah, Mr. Cosplay Alliance on my Instagram. And then we got Mr. Smooth on this side.
Gotcha. Smooth Cosplay on all the socials, just without the space in the middle. Also M Abernathy VO on Instagram and Twitter. Hence this mic right here and the soundproofing things in the background. But yeah, that's it.
This episode will also be on every streaming podcast platform. So if you guys want to listen to the audio, it will be on there as well. That's pretty much it. Oh, we're going to be doing the Fallout conversation the review of Fallout if anyone wants to join that conversation as well. So let me know.
I have to
We'll
finish
plan
it.
it.
Cool.
Thank you everyone for coming. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Right. Thank
Right.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Deuces.
Bye.